Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back in the 143. This is Under Review. Joseph Penn, Nick Jarvis.
Sir, what's up? Coming at you week 2,
Week
episode
number 2.
2.
And Nicholas, what a weekend.
I would agree.
What a weekend of football. You know, a lot of people have said that this is one of the best weekends of football they've ever seen, maybe the best, and we are here to tell you, as your experts, they would be right this time. This was a crazy weekend, an amazing weekend of football. And let's just dive right into it with our stat this week, brought to you by Himes Equipment, one of the largest used equipment dealers in the U.S., with over 600 used skid steers, backhoes, excavators, and more. And they are currently hiring for all positions, as they value quality
of Ryan Himes
at Himes Equipment. Our stat this week is that Joe Burrow in the Cincinnati versus Tennessee game was sacked 9 times, which ties the playoff record for sacks in a game.
A
whopping 9 times. But he still was able to lead his team to victory with a field goal in the last second. This is the second time in NFL history that someone who's been sacked 9 times in a game still came out with a win. The first being Donovan McNabb in 2005. So, attaboy Joe Burrow, Joey Money
coming out to play.
He went down a bunch, but still was able to rise up and top the Titans, which was impressive, being the number 1 seed at home.
They had Derrick Henry back.
They had everything they needed. Ryan Tannehill threw 3 interceptions, which basically cost them the game. And the Bengals were able to drive back down and kick that game-winning field goal with McMoney.
Evan McMoney, as they call him, there in Cincinnati.
It was a crazy game, as all these games were. And that stat is insane. Sacked 9 times, still winning the game. But attaboy Joe Burrow.
And I think just about everyone was thinking that Cincinnati was going to win that game. I thought they were, because I was like,
well, we called it last
week. I don't
week.
think Tennessee's actually a number 1 seed. I have no idea.
No, I mean, we definitely knew what we were talking about last week when they said that the Bengals were going to win. But that stat's brought to you by Himes Equipment. And nice job, Joe Burrow. We'll see y'all next week. Talk about them a little bit later.
AFC Championship, baby.
Yes.
Now for our player of the week. He is the Penn State product. Number 9, Robbie Gould.
A kicker.
He was 100%. Went 2 for 2. Bagged a 45-yard field goal in the snow, in Lambeau, against the number 1 seed in the NFC to send Aaron Rodgers home.
And that is why he is our player of the week.
Absolutely.
Because Aaron Rodgers is no longer in the playoffs.
How much we hate the Packers.
We cannot stand the Packers here at the 143.
Absolutely not. So we were so happy whenever Robbie Gould smoked that field goal right down the middle.
We were going crazy.
As soon as that happened, I was like, that's our player of the week. I don't even care if Patrick Mahomes throws for 300 touchdowns and 2,000 yards. It's Robbie Gould.
It was Robbie Gould because he sent the Packers packing, like what I did there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a horrific game in terms of offense. Watching Aaron Rodgers do terribly.
It was very boring.
That was satisfying. I liked watching Aaron Rodgers be terrible. But the Niners offense was absolutely atrocious.
Didn't score a single touchdown.
Kind of hard to believe at some points that they beat the Cowboys the week before, which still stings for both of us.
True.
But the Niners eventually clutched up in the end. Their special teams came up with that touchdown.
Off the block punt.
And then
they had a blocked field goal as well.
That's true.
So the 49ers, just special teams in general.
Credit to them. They get the game. Robbie Gould.
Packers.
Amazing.
Special teams coach is probably getting chewed out.
Or fired.
No one cares.
Which is good for him. I mean, you're not a member of the Packers anymore.
Thought it was funny that after the game, there's a tweet floating around of the video of Aaron Rodgers the day he got drafted. Whenever the reporter asked him, how disappointed are you that the 49ers didn't draft you? And then his response was, not as disappointed as they'll be that they didn't draft me. That aged quite swimmingly for the young lad, as he is now 0 for 4 against the San Francisco 49ers in the playoffs.
So let's tone that arrogance down a little bit, Aaron.
I would have to agree with that.
And cut your hair as well in the offseason, and maybe we'll see you next season.
In the words of
not.
Skip Bayless on his Twitter account, he put out there that apparently Aaron Rodgers has also been immunized to winning in the postseason.
Ooh.
To which I would have to agree.
An immunization burn. Well, Aaron, we're glad to see you at home. Hopefully you can get some rest. And we are so happy you're out of the playoffs here at Under Review. Now we can enjoy whatever games are coming.
We can just enjoy the peace. You know?
It is nice. It is nice. So credit to our boy
Robbie Gould, the man, the myth, the legend.
Kind of wish we could sign him on the Cowboys or something.
Yes, absolutely.
Anyways, let us move on to Sunday's games. So that was Saturday's games. Both of them came down to a field goal. Crazy games, awesome games. And now moving on to Sunday's games, which were just as satisfying, if not more.
I would have to agree.
Exciting. So the two amazing quarterbacks in the NFC that everyone was scared of, Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady.
And the GOAT.
Tom Brady, the GOAT. They're terrified of having to play them, right? The Rams were going up against the Bucs. Everyone, including us, thought that the Bucs would win.
I mean, both of them had the home field advantage.
Both of them had home field advantage.
Thought that.
And as we already discussed, Aaron Rodgers got sent home. But let's talk about the game that Brady got sent home in a little bit. So Rams defense, I would say they basically won.
Just tore apart.
Brady had less than 2 seconds to throw on most of
he was getting pressured every single time. It seemed like some defender was up in his face, on his back, touching him or something. I mean, it was 1-2 throw. Like he had no time in the backfield.
And all of his receivers, like Antonio Brown's gone, Chris Godwin's gone. So he basically had Mike Evans and a bunch of backups, and I guess Gronk. But Gronk didn't really.
Gronk dropped a couple passes.
Yeah, Gronk was kind of a letdown. And the Bucs just did not look like they knew what they were doing offensively.
And the greatest receiver this year,
Cooper Kupp, made them pay.
Anyone thinks any different, then they can
come see us.
And we will give them the facts. Okay,
like we're doing right now.
Use the Triple Crown winner. Okay, so I don't want to hear
Cooper Kupp had a great game. Matthew Stafford,
Steal Andrew Hopkins. Stop. It's Cooper Kupp.
It's Cooper Kupp. And Matthew Stafford has been playing exceptionally well, which you could attribute that to Cooper Kupp as well.
Yes.
And the fact that, when you have an amazing defense like the Rams defense,
absolutely,
it's easy to be a quarterback for that team because you.
And Sean McVay is an absolute sorcerer on the sideline with his headset on.
Sean, if you're listening right now,
credit to him.
We would love to have you at Dallas.
Oh, absolutely.
And we will pay you whatever you're asking for. I'm sure I speak for Jerry Jones.
Jerry's got plenty of money.
Jerry's got a lot of money, and he'll pay you a lot. I'm sure it won't hurt him at all.
I hope not.
But the Rams played an amazing game. Although in the fourth quarter, Tom Brady threw for 125 yards.
Yeah.
And started to come back, which
their offense didn't show up until the fourth quarter.
The best player for the Bucs that game was Cam Akers, the Rams running back, who gave them the ball a couple of times in the fourth quarter with some great field position. And they were able to get some touchdowns off of it.
There's like 4.5 minutes left in the game, and the Rams were up by, what was it? I believe it was 2 touchdowns. And I was like, oh, this game is over.
The Bucs in the second half put up 24 unanswered points to tie the game 27-27. And then for some reason, the Bucs just sent out a blitz, and then with 20 seconds left in the game, just streaked down the field, toasted his defender. Cooper Kupp open. Matt Stafford drops it in the bucket, and Pro Bowl kicker wins the game. So another game ending in a last-second field goal. A game that honestly shouldn't have even been close at the end. The Rams should have won like 42-3. But because of Cam Akers and some costly turnovers from the Rams in the fourth quarter, Brady was able to lead his beat-up Buccaneers team back to tie it. And the defense just couldn't clutch up at the end. And that's just kind of how that game went. So the Rams and the 49ers will be playing in the conference championship. Kind of interesting because if you go back to the middle of the season or the beginning of the season, I don't think anyone was predicting that it was going to be Rams or 49ers representing definitely not the 49ers.
NFC? I did not think so either.
So Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers are now Couch Brothers.
Yes, sir.
Pick creds, Brian Davis.
Picture up here.
For giving us this picture right here.
Yeah.
Which pretty much perfectly describes what we were wanting to talk about.
Exactly.
But let's move on to
the
craziest game of the weekend, in my opinion, and I think is in yours as well. The Chiefs-Bills game on Sunday night. No defense.
Electrifying.
No defense whatsoever in that game, which made it so much fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. No turnovers, no fumbles, no interceptions, none of that.
Quarterbacks just came out to play. They were running, they were throwing.
Twas a shootout.
What a show they put on. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. We knew Patrick Mahomes could do it, but Josh Allen came out and surprised a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then Gabriel Davis.
What? Their wide receiver, like 6 or whatever,
4 receiving touchdowns for the Bills.
Touchdowns. What a beast.
Now, Tyrann Mathieu went out in the first quarter with a concussion. That helped the Bills a lot. And 25 points scored combined in the last 2 minutes of the game.
That was crazy. We
were sitting there, you watch one team score and you're like, oh, they have it. They have the game. And then the other teams come back and score. And then the other team scores again. And then with 13 seconds left in the game, Josh Allen puts the Bills up.
I thought that was game.
I thought that was game. Wide open in the end zone, Gabriel Davis again.
Absolutely cooked his guy.
And
put him on the ground, on his back.
And the Bills go up 3 with 13 seconds left. And
I thought they should have squibbed it.
So yeah, that's what I was going to ask you is, so you think they should have squibbed that? I would agree. It would have killed some time.
Get the clock rolling.
Yeah.
Because then they could possibly get the ball with 8 seconds left if they could
even 10
play it correctly. Now
the Chiefs had 2 timeouts. You would, as the Bills defense, though, the Bills defense was number 1 this season against the pass.
Yeah.
So Sean McDermott was trusting its defense that they could stop 13 seconds.
If you're the best defense, then if you have the best defense, you're obviously going to trust them.
You should be able to stop them. And so now all the Bills fans are complaining about overtime rules and how unfair they are. But let's be honest, you had them right where you wanted them. 13 seconds left, the ball in their own 25.
You would probably take those odds
every day.
If you have the best defense in the country. I do think they have to make it to where maybe the other team has an offensive chance because,
I would agree.
You think about Josh Allen, he's just sitting there and then he can't do anything, right?
But it's not about Josh Allen. I'd say the Bills defense just let their team down in the end.
Yeah.
But there was honestly it did come down to who got the ball last.
I was like,
both defenses were terrible.
Whenever it went to overtime, me and Joseph were talking and we were like, okay, whoever wins the coin toss is probably going to win the game, and that's exactly what happened.
And it was as you could tell, the first drive of overtime when the Chiefs went down and 1, they did not have a single play that was stopped. Not a single one. They just drove down, got what they wanted.
There was zero defense that game.
So everyone's complaining about overtime rules, but let's be honest, there's a defense out there to stop the offense, and they didn't do their job. So they had a chance to stop them, but they didn't. But Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes both played phenomenally. They had over 800 yards passing combined and 8 touchdowns combined, which is insane. And Tyreek Hill came out, played an amazing game. Travis Kelce. It was just
Josh
an offensive show.
Was getting it done with his legs as well.
Yes, avoiding the sack.
His ability to be a stud dual threat quarterback.
The Bills
kind of ran all over him.
The Bills will be back. They've built a really good team.
Yeah,
they have a great quarterback, which in this league is pretty much what you need.
Exactly.
Cowboys.
He's a franchise quarterback for sure.
He definitely is their franchise quarterback. And we hope maybe Dak, who was at home watching this game, could learn from both of the quarterbacks.
Maybe.
Taking notes.
Hopefully.
Cashing his $75 million check while he's at home.
Maybe you can buy some quarterback lessons with that or something. I don't know.
That would be nice. That would be really nice. But this game was crazy. It was the most exciting end of the game. But it also ended overtime last second touchdown. So
that makes it fun.
Every game this weekend ended with a walk-off.
Last second.
A walk-off
last
play.
second field goal, last second touchdown, whatever.
And that's just how we like it. And because last weekend was a little disappointing with how many blowouts there were. And one could say some boring football games. And this weekend, they did not disappoint.
Yes, absolutely.
And some of them took a while to develop, like the
got our
Packers
money's
game.
worth.
But yeah, this was a great weekend of football. And congratulations to all the teams that are moving forward. And we're just super happy here that the Packers are not one of those teams.
The Packers will be at home.
Because the rest of the games, I think we could have gone either way.
Hopefully the Packers franchise is falling apart because they are losing.
They could be losing Aaron Rodgers,
free agency.
Devontae Adams.
Yes.
We'll see.
That Valdez Scantling.
Which honestly, if I was them, good riddance to Aaron Rodgers. let me just say,
You drafted Jordan Love.
let me just say,
so, like,
everyone who thinks Aaron Rodgers is amazing, the man's won 4 MVPs, but in his playoffs, he's only won 11 games and he's lost 10 games, and he's only taken them to the Super Bowl once, which he won, which was great. But that was 10 years ago. So I'm thinking it might be time to move on from your
I thought it was time to move on.
Aaron Rodgers is a baby, and he's overrated. So move on from Aaron Rodgers.
Still got to put that.
Super proud of the 49ers. Super proud of them.
Mm-hmm.
They came up with a huge win.
I'm thinking it'll be Rams, though, in the
Rams
over the 49ers.
Well, let's move in. Let's talk about that now. So first round, or not first round, NFC Championship, Rams-Niners, which was the last game of their regular season.
Mm-hmm. That was an exciting game.
The 49ers had to win that game to move into the playoffs,
which they did.
And they were able to win on an interception in overtime.
They were in a win-and-in situation, and now they're playing that same team.
Now they're playing the same team
in SoFi for the Super Bowl.
And one of the biggest things about that game when they were playing is that people were saying it was basically 60% Niners fans there.
Some were saying it felt like a 49ers home game.
Yeah, the Rams were having a hard time calling offensive plays because it was so loud.
Does not make sense.
So if the Niners could do that again,
they might have a chance.
They would possibly have a chance. It's just, I don't know. The Rams are hot. Their defense is rolling.
They have a stud defense.
They've
lots of weapons.
I mean, they whooped the Cardinals. They basically really whooped the Bucks, but
they made some good pickups in the downtime.
Cam Akers again fumbled twice.
Von Miller, and then I'm not an
they
OBJ
went all
fan
in on this season,
but OBJ was a pretty good pickup for them because he's been producing out there on the field.
Well, they went all in on free agency this season. They want this season to be it, and I think
they have a chance. Yeah.
We're in agreement that they're going pretty much to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
and that'll be crazy. It'll be the second year in a row that the home team gets to the Super Bowl, so they'll be playing in SoFi.
That'll be crazy. Yeah,
in their home stadium. I just don't think the 49ers offense is going to be.
I don't think Jimmy G is good enough to be able to
beat the
pick
Rams.
apart that defense.
Yeah, this is a defense that
if he does, good for him.
They'll get to him and what they did with Brady under 2 seconds, and it's going to come down to the offensive line is going to need to step up big time. The 49ers need to stick to what they do best, and that's run the ball.
Yeah,
with Debo, with Mitchell. Just running the ball out of the backfield, do some jet sweeps or whatever like they did against the Cowboys, and just keep pushing the ball down the field, taking that clock
Debo have
off.
his way with the defense as he always does.
You don't want to give the Rams offense the ball if you don't have to. So keep the clock running.
I think you have to give Matthew Stafford some credit. He's been around for a while. He's had some playoff experience.
Absolutely.
Obviously, that's with the Lions, so it's not very good. But I do think Matthew Stafford is a solid quarterback.
Yes.
Like, he's not the best, but he's not the worst. I think
he's good.
I would say he's definitely better than Jimmy G, and I do think he has the ability to pick apart
better
that
receivers
49ers defense. Yes.
A better defense. I think the Rams are just the better team, and we both think that they're going to take this game.
If we learned anything from this past weekend, it isn't that the better team does not always win.
That's true. Anything can happen, and I'm excited to watch that game.
Absolutely.
But let's move on to the next game, which
the AFC Championship.
There's been a lot of discussion in the last couple of days between me and Nicholas about this game. The AFC Championship, Kansas City and
versus
Cincinnati. And if we look back in the regular season, Cincinnati beat the Chiefs. They came back 28-7, I think. They were down 21.
Yeah, Jamar Chase had more yards than Patrick Mahomes did on the last game that they played him.
Yes, and they were able to control the clock and win it with a field goal in the end at Arrowhead. But obviously, this is a different –
Evan McMoney coming through again.
Yes, but this is a different environment. This is playoff football at Arrowhead.
This is playoff Patty.
So why don't you give me your thoughts on what you
think? So for this game, I am going to take the Cincinnati Bengals.
Interesting choice.
Excuse me. Sorry. They have overcome a lot of adversity. I think they have a lot of weapons. I like Joe Burrow in the backfield. I feel like he is a solid quarterback. He's somewhat mobile. I think he runs when he needs to, but he's able to use all of his receivers very, very well. I do think Joe Mixon is a decent back out of the backfield. I'm seeing Jamar Chase pop off. I think the Bengals have a solid defense. Hopefully, they can do a little bit of a better job than the Bills did. I do think the O-line is obviously a huge
ginormous
problem. A huge problem, but I don't see the the Chiefs D-line just being overpowering, But I do think they will cause some problems, but I think Joey Money is going to be able to come through and find a way to get his team to the Super Bowl.
So I disagree. I think the Chiefs are going to win this game. And I love the Bengals. I love Joe Burrow. I love Jamar Chase. But the Chiefs rolled through the number one pass defense in the league last week against the Bills. Just Mahomes torched them.
Yeah.
And as good as, I guess, as bad as the Chiefs defense played, I don't think that the Bengals and the Bills have the same offense. So I think Joe Burrow is amazing, but the offensive line, like we were discussing, I think that's what's going to be the Bengals' downfall.
Mm-hmm.
I think without a great offensive line, there's no way he goes into Arrowhead and they put up as many points as the Chiefs, because I think the Chiefs are going to have their way with the Bengals defense because they obliterated the Bills.
I don't think they're going to have their way. I think it's going to be a close game. Well, obviously, we always want a close game because that means
absolutely.
That it's good to watch.
I would prefer a close game too.
I don't think it's going into overtime, but I think it'll come down to a last-second field goal, like the other games have this weekend.
Really? Mm-hmm. I don't think so. I think the Chiefs are going to win by a touchdown.
Mm-hmm. But see, here's the
This is going to be an offensive game, though, for sure.
Obviously, I understand that the Bengals might not be as good or as talented, but like every team that's in the teams that are in the AFC Championship and teams that are in the NFC Championship deserve to be there because they beat some solid teams.
Yes.
They did really well during the season. So all four of these teams that are playing this next weekend deserve to be there. So I don't think it's going to be where one team rolls over the other team. I think it's just going to be where the Bengals are a little bit better and they're going to come out on top against the Chiefs.
Both of these defenses that will be playing in this game aren't that great. They're not an NFC defense. Like the Niners and the Rams have great defenses.
Yeah.
These defenses aren't amazing, but their offenses are. But I think when you compare the offenses, the Chiefs' offense is hot right now, coming off this win. And I mean, if you look at it, the Bengals put up 19 points on the Titans' defense.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs put up 42 on the number one pass defense. So
I think all the Bengals need to do, if they can fix that O-line, I think they'll be fine.
I think the Bengals also need to run
Joe
game.
Burrow.
They need to run
some
game
time
back.
to throw.
Mixon needs to be better.
Yeah, well, I think Mixon is very deadly. I mean, his touchdown run that he had
was great.
It was great. He had a cutback.
Awesome.
He saw the hole. And so I think he can be lethal when you need him. So I think if they feed him more, that should help out a bit. And then obviously, I've said it 1,000 times, and I'll say it again. They just need to fix that O-line, get Joey Burrow.
But they're not going to fix an O-line in a week.
No, just come up with some schemes.
No.
Figure it out.
They're not.
Okay. You know what? You can sit there and think a lie, but I'll be thinking the truth. I'll be sitting over here sitting in the truth, okay?
That's weird because there can't be two truths, and I'm already in the truth. So.
Oh, is that
that's
how
we're doing
works?
this.
Is that how it works? Okay.
The Chiefs defense is not gonna obliterate the Bengals, but their offense will come out and completely obliterate the Bengals defense.
Yeah.
I think the Chiefs win by a touchdown.
Okay.
That's what I think.
I think it's going to be close, but I'm still taking the Bengals.
Let me ask you this.
I'm a Joe Burrow fan.
Let me ask you this.
Let me answer.
Are you taking the over or under? Burrow has 300 passing yards.
Ooh. Man, that is a tough one.
It's Joe Burrow, though. He always has about
I don't know,
300.
man. I'm going to take over.
You going to go over?
Mm-hmm. It's going to be close, but I'm saying over.
Again, offensive line is going to be a huge factor, whether or not he can get the pass off.
Yeah.
And Jamar Chase is amazing, but it'll be cool because these offenses have so many weapons. So
it'll be.
I don't think the defense is
a very offensive game. I think it'll be similar to the Bills-Chiefs game.
Yes, I think it'll be high scoring, but
one thing I think we should point out that we kind of left out from last week is that both of my AFC pick is now out and your NFC pick is now out.
Yes. They both
pretty unfortunate.
Yeah.
Fell kind of hard.
Yes, I had the Bucks and you had the Bills, and
Yep.
they are both gone.
They're Couch brothers as well.
They are on the couch with Aaron Rodgers. Obviously not with him. They're not friends with him because no one really likes him.
Who likes Aaron Rodgers? I don't even think his wife actually.
Raise your hand if you like Aaron Rodgers. Oh, nobody's raising their hand. So, I'm not really sure who likes him or who would like him. But it was disappointing to see our contenders go down. But the way these games played out.
It made it interesting.
As a football fan, you can't hate it. It was great. And plus, our team went out.
Because I was about to say, when your favorite team isn't there, you're not really rooting for anyone. You just want to see good games.
And you want to see the Packers lose.
And
so we kind of got
what we wanted, but not the way we wanted.
Exactly.
Because we wanted the Cowboys to win and then beat the Packers, but
it didn't happen that way. But we're okay with what happened because the Packers lost.
Yeah.
So I'm taking Chiefs this game.
I'm taking Bengals.
And we will definitely have to.
We'll be coming back at you next week whenever the Bengals are in the Super Bowl.
Well, when it's Chiefs Rams, I'll definitely talk about how right I was.
Yeah, that's cool.
And we'll do that.
Obviously, I don't know when that episode will be because next week is Bengals Rams, but that's cool.
I don't know what show you're on, but at Under Review, we're going to be talking about how right I was.
Okay, so that's cool. We'll just let Joseph think that while everyone else knows in their heart that the Bengals are going to win.
Y'all just wait till next week.
Okay. All right. Well, as we like to end our shows here, I have another Vince Lombardi quote for everyone.
Vince Lombardi, the legend himself.
The legend himself. Excuse me, sorry. There's only one way to succeed in anything, and that is to give everything.
That's a really good quote.
Thank you so much, everybody, for listening.
We appreciate having y'all in this week.
Come back at y'all again when we talk about the Bengals.
When we talk about the Chiefs and how the Bengals lost.
Yes.
But thanks for tuning in this week.
Yes,
thank you. Here at Under Review. Y'all have a good week.